Welcome to Red Boots and Heels.
I'm Boots.
And I'm Heels. We're glad that you joined us. We've got a lot to talk about in a very short amount of space because we've been super busy today.
And we're really happy that we've had all these responses and comments and inbox messages, because it just shows that we're not alone and that you're not alone either. There's a lot of us out there. So thank you very much.
Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. So let's talk about last week. Let's talk about Michael A., of Perkins Cole Law Firm, representing the Clinton campaign, and of course the Democratic National Committee. They were indicted, folks, okay?
Most people don't even know this.
Yeah, by a federal grand jury, folks. And I'm getting a little bit, anxious to share this with the audience, because we've been inundated with this Trump collusion situation that was supposed to have happened.
Well, basically, that's all that
from the beginning.
The left that the Democrats have even focused on for years to try to fool the American public. And it was all one big lie.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. Why is this indictment? This is a 27-page indictment, and I mean, I think we can all look it up and maybe read about it. But it is coming from a grand jury for making false statements. Okay, for making false statements. Hello, people. The secret Russian collusion is a hoax. It has always been a hoax from day one.
And now that there's absolute proof that it was a hoax. But the thing is, the American propaganda buries the story. Yeah. They don't circulate the story, so the average person, unless they look for that information, has no clue.
And the indictment states that Sussman, and cyber experts recruited agents from the Clinton campaign and then took that false information, literally made this up, and handed it down to the FBI and the media, which, by the way, created the shitstorm that we are still dealing with to this very day.
Years later, hundreds of millions of your tax dollars, so that the Democrats could frame the Trump administration that you paid for. And most people out there, not our people, our listeners largely are informed of becoming. They're smart people. We have great Americans that listen to us.
They actually
but there's a lot of people out there, like our neighbors and people that constituents that we work with that aren't aware of this information.
Yeah. And so, so we keep getting these comments that always brings it up, that a lot of people that are on the other side of the road says that that's what started it, and that we should all be paying attention to that, and that is why they keep putting him in bed with the Russians. None of it, absolutely none of it was true. So
no truth
all
to
I can say
any of it. But yet, some of the very people that fabricated all this to lie and mislead American taxpayers, guess where they are now? They're in the Biden cabinet.
Yeah, there's no question. We have got to get a handle on this and stand up against it, because the only collusion that was actually happening was by the Democratic Party, with Hillary right in the middle of the entire mix of it all. So how is this even possible that they have not literally in jail already? And I mean, a lot of Americans
say that. They should have been in jail from the very beginning. But hopefully, as we see more of this play out, even though that we know that the propaganda, the media, you're not going to see a lot about it on NBC, CBS, ABC, whatnot. Because they don't like you to be informed of the truth. They feed people the lie. They perpetuate and keep spinning the lie, even though we know that the lie is a lie.
Yeah, the secret Russian connection was absolutely not true.
Now, who did have a Ukrainian connection, who actually did have one, are the Biden family, Hunter and Joe Biden, who took millions of dollars from Burisma. Burisma is the Ukrainian oil company that actually moves crude through the Afghan pipeline, which is why Burisma and the Ukrainians needed the Taliban to be able to control the Afghan pipeline. Go figure.
And of all things, I mean, in 2016, when Jake Sullivan actually, perpetuated the lie out there that, he had intel that this was going on, and it's all a hoax, and he's involved, and he's the national security advisor for the United States of America. I
The
mean,
national security
Yeah.
advisor for this administration
the one we're supposed to believe in,
lied and has been indicted by the federal grand jury for lying to the American people about the dossier.
Yeah. So for all of the comments out there that's coming in that repeatedly talk about this, and thank you, patriots, that go back in and, you know, give your take on that and take up for, you know, for the truth. Okay. Thank you for going back in and commenting, you know, to these folks that do that, and setting the record straight. There's no way possible for Boots and I to comment on every single thing. We try to do as much as we can and go in and like and acknowledge that you are doing that.
Yes.
But, I mean, come on. He is the national security advisor for this United States, for the Biden administration.
And he's a liar.
And we're supposed to believe this administration.
He's a criminal. He's a criminal who's lied to the American public.
He actually is a criminal now.
So, and he's a high up.
All of them. Hillary, all of them. Okay, all of them. So the collusion is with the Democratic Party. This entire time, there was collusion there, not with President Trump. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of let you know once and for all our take on that. I believe.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for commenting to those people that are either ill-informed or flat out lying, because those people have to be set straight. And until we start keeping each other in check on our facts, nothing's going to change. With people being allowed to spread lies and propaganda, this is why we're in the position that we're in. And we need each other to keep each other in check.
Yeah.
To the truth, to the facts.
So, you know, we've been doing this for a little bit now, and we do talk about the comments, and we're so glad to engage you in conversation, because that's even the opposing side, you know, we engaging in conversation,
which usually
to get dialect out there.
I have to say, normally when we read some of the comments by the opposing side, half the time we're literally laughing when we see them, because they're the most ridiculous things that you've ever seen.
It's really fiction. It's a bunch of fairy tales going on there. But I really want to read one. This is from Walter, and Walter's just simply asking if one of the other people out there gotten their check that Biden sent you to help you get through the pandemic that Trump caused and created, basically spread throughout our nation. The Republican virus is what he's calling it, that destroyed our economy and killed over 700 American men, women, and children.
How do people...
The Republican virus.
Walter, how is it you came to these conclusions? Because critical thought, and when you go through... I don't know how you came to these conclusions.
Well,
really.
I kind of do, because it's TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. I've said it before and many times. And you know, something like this kind of leaked false information actually started that ball rolling.
Right.
And it's like a snowball that rolls down the hill, and all of a sudden these people are caught up in it. I really blame the Democratic Party for this, because they have created such a whirlwind of falsified information that has caused people like Walter and others to start believing in the Russian hoax and believing in all this stuff. And that causes a lot of doubt in people's minds. Before you know it, they're caught up in all of it, and they just keep stacking it on. And before you know it, that cake has more icing on it than it does an actual the actual cake part. And they're eating it up like it's really good.
The media are masters of manipulation. They've done this for years. I mean, the media is nothing but a marketing tool to generate money. And there's a lot of money to be made in chaos. So basically, you've been sold, you know, we've all been sold lies. And it's been up to us to find out what the truth is. And there are many of us out there that have, and we've dug and we've looked up the truth and we've looked at the facts.
Yeah, we have.
And we've made, you know, we've used critical thinking to form our opinions. And that's very refreshing. Then you come across these people and you think, how in the world?
How do you drink that much Kool-Aid in that short of time?
Why do you not want to find out the truth? I mean, why is it so easy for some people to be spoon-fed lies and they take it and run with it?
Well, here's the problem with a lot of people, okay? They would rather covet the lie than ever do an admittance that their first
True.
thought process was wrong to begin with.
Exactly.
So they would actually rather bury themselves in the lie further than to admit that their own mind and their own thought process was not correct in the beginning.
So basically,
that's really what happens a lot of times.
They continue to perpetuate a lie rather than admit the truth.
Yeah. And by the way, we're never going to disclose last names or, pinpoint exactly, who we're speaking of. We've got lots of Walters and lots of Johns, lots of Marys, lots of people. But
it's never too late. It's never too late to turn it around,
just
folks.
Turn around and say, okay, it was wrong. And then what happens is if you find out that one thing was wrong, then, just dig a little further and you'll find out something else is wrong. And pretty soon you've got all the ingredients there in front of you, and then if you don't want to agree to it, then there's something wrong with you.
I mean, do you want to invest a lot of time baking a cake that actually tastes like crap,
or that has the wrong ingredients?
Right.
And
do you want to do your research and find out the best way to make the best cake?
Yeah.
And have that to serve your people.
Yeah.
That's just
try pineapple upside down cake. Why don't you?
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
You haven't made that in a while.
No, I know. I need to do another cake.
I know you do.
I really do. And for those of you who, don't like our bobblehead.
For those of you who hate our bobblehead,
we love our bobblehead.
We love our bobblehead.
So we thought we would just do ourselves a favor and put him right front and center.
And basically, if it makes you mad, you can go get yourself a cape, and then you can be super mad.
Yeah, there you go. Be super mad with a cape.
Exactly.
And jump off a very small building. I wouldn't want you to jump off a high building, but
I had this thought of making a finger puppet, and it's a super mad finger puppet, and I'm going to make a little red cape, super mad.
I want one of those.
They can fly around. They can fly around. They can fly around, and they can be super mad.
Hey, that's something we might need to get done.
I think so.
I think I kind of like that idea. Okay, so something else on the news too that made news last week. The mask mandates, of course, and the vaccine mandates are causing all kinds of havoc. We knew it was going to happen. We knew that was going to happen from the beginning. But I mean, look at what happened in the restaurant in New York City.
Well, I mean, people. Basically, you've got people that have a base nature of wild animals, and they are looking for any excuse to attack people, and it's people of all kinds that are acting out like this.
Yeah, everybody. I mean, it's just nuts. I mean, and to go into a restaurant now, I want to tell people the real story. Okay, so several of them showed up. I think it was 3. I may be off by a number or 2, but several of them.
Ones that went in.
They showed up at a restaurant. They had their vaccine papers, I guess, present.
They were allowed in,
and they were allowed in. And then a second set of people showed up also to join them.
Right,
they were allowed in.
in.
And then a third person or a third bunch or one single person, I can't really get to the 100% on that, but someone else wanted to join them that did not. And then what happened is all of the other parties that were let in came back out, okay, to basically attack and accost the hostess there, which is, by the way, an Asian girl. And was it?
And by the way, she was.
That's right.
But I mean, race really has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
It has to do with what kind of human being are you. And actually, if you really want to look at it, I mean, we talk about hate crimes all the time. And this actually was a hate crime. I believe it was a hate crime. It was their opportunity to attack someone.
And it happened, and then there was no race issue to it until the race card was pulled the very next day. But this was after the report had been made to the police, and there was nothing about that. The report had been made to the management at the restaurant. There was nothing brought up about that either.
Actually, a Hispanic man tried to intervene on behalf of the hostess, as well as another African American who tried to intervene on behalf of the hostess. And it was reported early on that there was no talk of race. If I went to New York and I wanted to eat at Carmine's restaurant where this took place, I would know that I would need to have my vaccination passport, or don't eat there and go somewhere else.
Go somewhere else,
You do not get to attack someone over a vaccination passport. You know, in a time where small businesses like this,
well, they're struggling, and they have been struggling. I mean,
it's hard to find employees, and when you've got employees
people
being
are not wanting
attacked
to work
over rules, it's sickening. It's absolutely disgusting.
Exactly.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's hard enough. It's hard enough on the businesses already, and then to have these mandates enforced upon them when government employees it's not enforced on. So again, it's cherry picking who has to be under these mandates and who does not, which also makes no sense whatsoever. And then to have a workforce.
And there's a lot of rage over this issue, but you don't get to act out your rage on innocent people in the workplace. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, not at all.
Then you don't get to try to excuse your behavior because of skin color.
Yeah.
That especially doesn't work, and I quite frankly am sick of it.
Yeah, we're all sick of it. Pretty much everybody's sick of it. We're all Americans.
All Americans, and we all are in this together. Stop using skin color to excuse your poor behavior.
Yeah. Please don't do that. I mean, come on. I mean, I'm related to, I have people of different ethnicities in my family, and I love them all equally and every bit as much. And they don't even think like that.
We don't even think of it that way.
They don't even think like that.
No.
I mean,
not even
a little bit. So, you know, the only person that is victimizing themselves are the ones who keep bringing it up and want to be in that position, want to be in that space. Just stop it. Please stop it. This little thing that happened in New York City has nothing to do with race.
Basically, you know, the way
but
I
Black
see
Lives
it,
Matters have really gotten involved on this now, demanding that something be done, justice be done, because they have brought race into it. Of course, because that's all they do. They sit around and decide to, you know, prompt more divide among the American people.
It's basically reverse flipped apartheid. Now we're seeing apartheid based on vaccination. Now we have COVID apartheid.
Yeah.
Go figure. Yeah. We now are going to be separated not only by skin color, by the people who didn't want separation by skin color, but now we're having this apartheid of COVID related issues, which always, if you look through history, you have that, then you have genocide.
No, you can't look through history. We're not allowed to have a history.
We don't have history because we don't want anybody to learn anything.
Yeah. You can't have history anymore. History must be erased. It must be completely done away with.
You must erase
in America. You need to get rid of all of the history. But yet, well, that's
because there's lessons to be learned.
Another podcast. We should actually do a whole podcast on just that subject.
Without a working understanding of history, you can't have proper behaviors in a proper society.
You don't even have a future if you don't have an understanding of history.
No.
Well, you kind of look at where we're going in here, and you see what's happening as a result of that.
There are so many of us that feel the same way and have the same sensibilities and understanding about what's happening,
and frustrations,
you know, so. and being able to come together on this means the world.
And for those of you that have likened us to Diamond and Silk, the white version of Diamond and Silk, I want you to know, thank you.
I take that as a
compliment.
compliment.
Love those ladies, and they're spot on. Love those ladies, and they're out there doing a great job.
I'm a big fan.
And I am
fan
too.
Of those
so
ladies.
When we read some of those, I'm saying, wow, that's an honor that I didn't think we even deserved that honor. But thank you very much for that. So if you're saying it in a racist, democratic racist way, which is what some of the comments have been.
Well, but it's amazing though when some people,
we have nothing but love for them. So anyway, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you very much. It's an honor.
We have Pets and Politics on redbootsandheels.com, and a lot of stories there for our rescues and what we do. We are not an official rescue, but we rescue constantly.
It's never ending.
We'll publish some of those a little bit later too. But today we spent our entire morning going and looking for 3 puppies. Well, one puppy was picked up by a woman on her street. Actually, it was scratching on her door. So a gentleman, evidently without saying a whole lot about that, but he dumped 3 puppies. And then later,
was retrieved.
Yeah. Later he felt bad about it, tried to go back and find them. Anyway, so we were reached out to and see if we could maybe go find them. We were not successful in finding the 2. I hope that they got somewhere safe, but we did and were able to retrieve one of those puppies. I will be glad to go get the puppy because actually she is sleeping right here, and
my
we
gosh,
do need to
she's
find
precious.
a home for her. So we're going to feature her this week as well, and see if we can't find the most perfect spot for her. So I'm going to pick her up right now. So folks, we don't have a name for her. We're not going to name her yet because we're going to wait. If you got any ideas or what you think would be a great name for her, we will be glad to listen to those names. I think she is lab and healer mix from what it looks like to me. I lost a fingernail, so sorry about that.
This
but anyway,
is going to be, she is so smart.
And do you notice she's black and white?
She's black and white. But
okay. I don't think she cares.
We don't think that she identifies with one or another.
I don't
we
think
don't
so either.
think
She's
that
a
she
puppy.
identifies with any community.
Yeah.
We don't think she really cares.
Yep.
She's a puppy.
She's a puppy.
She's a puppy.
Yeah.
Her color doesn't really matter.
And
She's
neither
beautiful.
does yours.
Exactly.
How about that? And you don't need me to validate it for you.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. If you're a good person, then you're a good person, period, end of story. And she was asleep laying on the floor of the podcast room.
She's just doing this. Look at how cute. Oh my God.
But when you first pick up a dog like this, just for little educational purposes, understand when they've been with someone for a couple of days, and the lady that took her in, she was with her for a couple of days, they don't understand when they're giving all that love and stuff, they don't understand that it's just temporary. So we try to find placement really, really quick, so that while they have this anxiety, because she looks like she's really anxious.
Yeah,
but
she looks very anxious right now.
She's kind of comfortable, but we don't want to get, we don't want her to feel like, she's at home and then be uprooted again. So we try very, very hard. Why Boots and I end up with so many animals is because if we can't place them quick enough, then we end up keeping them ourselves. And but we can't just do that continually to where we don't have room for everybody.
I would keep them all if I could, but I've got to win lotto.
Yeah.
So to have an animal rescue.
Yeah. So if you think that you would like to give her a home, we will vet you pretty hard. I can tell you that right now. We don't just disperse the animals to just anybody. But she is lovely. So hopefully we'll get her the perfect home. I would hate to think of her not having anything but the best home possible for sure.
Gosh, I just love her.
I know she's so sweet.
She's like,
she's
so
cute.
Back down so I can go back.
Okay, well we'll put her down so she can go lay back down. Anyway, that about closes it for now. So we're just going to say, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That helps us out a lot. And go to redbootsandheels.com and also check out our Pets and Politics there. And some of our adventure stories are also for you on YouTube as well as our website. So for now, we're just going to say so long. Until next time, bye bye.
Bye bye.